Hello and welcome to the Comms for Climate podcast, where strategic communication meets climate action. I'm your host Karunya, and together with my guests, we explore the intersection of digital media and climate communications, arming you with valuable insights to supercharge your impact. Navigating climate science can be daunting and overwhelming due to its specialized terminology and inherent uncertainty. The complex nature of this field significantly increases the challenges of our fight against climate change. In this episode, we explore the dynamic role of social media in simplifying obscure climate concepts, paving the way for a more informed and proactive climate movement in the digital age. This is Comms for Climate. Today's guest has been making waves in the stormwater industry as a water-sensitive urban design specialist, preventing stormwater runoff from polluting our oceans. He's shaping the future of climate activism as the co-founder and operations manager at Earthly Institute, an environmental charity with a global audience of over 350,000 on social media. I am proud to introduce Daniel Ryder. Welcome to the show, Daniel.
Thank you.
Today, we're discussing the power of social media in making climate science relatable, which is an area of your expertise. So to kick things off, can you explain how social media, as both an artistic and scientific tool, distills climate science for audiences?
For starters, I think content creators need to know their audience inside out before they can actually start to explain climate change. Social media platforms provide a wealth of information to understand audiences and how to communicate with them. In addition, platforms provide content performance metrics and audience feedback, allowing continuous improvement in how climate concepts are presented. I think for those who are just starting out, social media is also a great space to experiment. Through trial and error, you can find the most effective methods for explaining climate science. Essentially, the ability to plan, test, and evaluate your communication goals based on data exemplifies social media's scientific role in making climate science more relatable and accessible. However, social media is also an artistic medium, not just scientific, as you mentioned. Content creators have an arsenal of tools to be creative: graphics and videos, interactive stories, and live sessions, among other things as well. With those tools, communicators can paint a more personal and, a digestible picture of the climate crisis. If you're disconnected from what's going on, you can't be inspired to take action. Storytelling through social media is very important. It's not just making a meme or a little video or something. You do need to think more about the story, because you can just chuck out all these little bits of information, but if there isn't really a story behind it, then it's hard for people to understand what to do and take lessons from that content.
That's right. So we're considering multiple touch points within a particular story that we can share with our audience.
Yeah, I think those who don't engage with climate science because of its scientific and theoretical nature can connect with issues emotionally through art on social media.
Yeah, I definitely think that social media is a playground for creativity. I also believe that the symbiotic relationship between creators and platforms bridges the gap between the scientific community and the general public pretty well. So as we conclude our conversation, I'd like to ask you this. How do you envision this relationship evolving, and what role do you think it will play in further mobilizing the climate movement online?
Yeah, I agree that creators and social media platforms have a mutually beneficial relationship. As the climate crisis continues to intensify, communicators will develop new skills that strategically harness algorithmic amplification for climate mobilization. I'm optimistic that platforms will increasingly emphasize the dissemination of honest, fact-checked information and foster stronger collaboration with climate scientists, dedicating additional resources to deliver reliable updates in real time.
I think I speak for all of us when I say I hope your words ring true. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Comms for Climate podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And that's a wrap on our first episode. Stay tuned for more conversations on using digital media to fight climate change and making a real difference. Until next time.